Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to continue to talk about the Best New Artist winners of the Grammys. If you have not seen part 1, go check it out as there were some big names mentioned. Not going to waste any time any further. Let's continue with the video, starting off with the year 2008. Before we continue, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And now, let's continue with the video.
And the winner is, of course I can't open it good. Yes, Amy Winehouse.
In 2008, Amy Winehouse won the 50th Best New Artist Award ever. She already released an album in 2003, Frank, but in 2007, she released Back to Black, a critically acclaimed album, and had the song Rehab. Now, she herself could not attend the ceremonies due to green card complications, but the Grammys did let her perform via satellite. Yeah, Feist, she was a Canadian singer, and like Amy Winehouse, her second album was her breakthrough in The Reminder. Ledisi, she was a contemporary R&B singer, not a whole lot on her, but her later career was interesting. Paramore, a pop-punk band with a surprisingly urban audience. Seriously, Misery Business was a bop in 2007. And there is one more name, an artist who started off as America's sweetheart, but wound up being the most in-your-face, industry-dependent mega superstar whose cat is richer than I am, Taylor Swift. She dropped her debut album, and she was set up to be the next biggest star in country, but she'll wind up pivoting, as we all know. If this was based on artists who debuted in 2006 and 7, then maybe Taylor Swift, but she wasn't seasoned yet to take the throne, and Back to Black is an important album. In music, it's hard seeing Taylor beat Amy in this situation, and I think the Swifties might agree with me on that. This might be the hardest curses to talk about, because throughout Amy's career, she struggled with substance abuse, and her music highlights those struggles. She tried to keep it together while performing, but often get berated by the paparazzi for her poor performances. And in 2011, the 50th Best New Artist winner joined the 27 Club. So it's sadly to say that Amy Winehouse is cursed, but at least she's at peace. May she continue to rest.
And the Grammy goes to Adele.
In 2009, Adele took home the Best New Artist Award. Back-to-back years, the UK took home the trophy. She dropped her debut album 19, and the song Chasing Pavements was a critical darling. Duffy, a singer from Wales, mostly rode the success of Mercy, but will undergo a traumatic event that will end her music career. You had the Jonas Brothers from the Radio Disney camp. They've been around since 2005. But in 2008, Burning Up was burning up the charts. Lady, formerly Antebellum, a country trio who released their debut album in 2008, and Jasmine Sullivan, an R&B artist who broke through with a platinum seller in Fearless. I would say Adele would have taken this, but in my honest opinion, I think it was closer than you think since Adele wasn't massive in America just yet. I think Jasmine Sullivan had a shot over Adele, but I'm not going to complain that Adele got the win. Let's see, sweeping the general fields twice, the accolades, number ones, 4 albums, and seemed to be content on preserving her legacy instead of adding on to it. This might be one of the easiest answers yet.
And the Grammy goes to Zac Brown Band.
After a streak of women, the Zac Brown Band won for 2010. Country pick might have been the boring route, but in 2009-2010, they had a run of singles with a few of them landing in the top 40, and their album The Foundation was a multi-platinum smash. And this category had the most duo group nominees I've seen for any Best New Artist, and sadly I don't recognize any of them. We have MGMT, a band from Connecticut who wrote the success of The Kids, Silverson Pickups, an alternative band from LA, The Ting Tings, a UK duo who released a song called That's Not My Name. Okay, I recognize that song. But the only artist I was familiar with was the only non-band nominated, and that was Carrie Hilson, someone who I've met in person. She had 2 big singles with Turning Me On with Lil Wayne and Knock You Down with Neo and Kanye West, and her debut album went gold. You know, my bias would have easily said Carrie Hilson. Hell, she might have been the popular pick, and her career would have changed had she won. But looking at the Zac Brown Band's discography for the foundation, I kinda understood why the Grammy went that route. Zac Brown Band was a staple in 2010's country. They won 2 more Grammys afterwards, and even though it seems that their run is ending, I can safely say they are not cursed.
And the Grammy for Best New Artist goes to Esperanza Spalding.
Esperanza Spalding. She won in 2011, and it's another who? She's a jazz artist whose first album came out in 2006, but her 2010 album, Chamber Music Society, was a charter on the Billboard 200. But this is one where I'm just still drawing a blank. Let's see who she beat. You have Justin Bieber, girls' favorite heartthrob and guys' biggest headache. He released his debut album My World 2.0, and his song Baby was popular, just not on YouTube. Drake, former Degrassi actor turned rapper, his debut album Thank Me Later, his breakthrough was long in coming. Florence and the Machine, sure the song Dog Days Over came out in 2008, but it got popular in 2010, and Mumford & Sons, an indie rock band from the UK. I sent some shenanigans, because we got 2 artists from Canada, 2 from the UK, and a lone American 1. I'm not going to jump into this theory, but I do sense American bias. But of the 4, I say Drake breakthrough was long in coming. I'll say he wins. You know what? She's quietly not cursed. Since winning Best New Artist, she has 4 Grammys. Her most recent coming in 2022. So I'm going to say she's not cursed. And the Grammy goes to Bon Iver. I thought Bon Iver was a solo act. What's wrong with me? But they won in 2012. They were an indie folk band, and this is another one where I'm just scraping for any information. We have the band Perry, a sibling country band, and they had the song If I Die Young. J. Cole, Jermaine Cole, a rapper from the 919, released his debut album Cold World, buoyed by the song Workout. Nicki Minaj, a female rapper from New York, been on the mixtape circuit for years until joining Young Money, is released her debut album Pink Friday. And Skrillex, a DJ EDM artist. This is another year where I sense shenanigans, but there was a big controversy involving Nicki Minaj during that awards show. She was in line to perform at the Grammys, but then Whitney Houston unexpectedly passed away. Grammys had to shift their show to make room for the tributes, and they asked Nicki to remove her performance. She declined and performed anyway. Who knows, her name might have been on the ballot to win Best New Artist, but since she said no to the Grammys, they replaced her with Bon Iver as the winner. And that's just a theory of mine, so please do not run away with it. Bon Iver is still in the indie circuit. Some of their recent credits included Exile with Taylor Swift, and while they haven't won a Grammy since that night, they still managed to chart songs on the rock charts, so I'm gonna cautiously say they were not cursed. Let's move on. And the Grammy goes to Fun. A group named Fun won Best New Artist in 2013. Their most recognizable hits was We Are Young, Some Nights, and Carry On, and their album Some Nights went triple platinum. This is another class where I don't have much to work with. We have Alabama Shakes, a rock band from Alabama, but they do have one recognizable member in Brittany Howard, so I think that's interesting. Frank Ocean dropped a revolutionary R&B album in Channel Orange, and his music has aged extremely well. Hunter Hayes, a young country singer who racked up a few accolades, and the Lumineers. They had that one big hit, Hey Ho, that was a top 10 hit in 2012, and honestly I've never heard of this song before. Same for 2010 applies here. Frank Ocean would have been the biggest competitor, but given how massive We Are Young was, it was hard to contest. Little did we know this was Fun's peak. They will say their success was an accident, but by 2015, Fun was no more. But for Jack Antonoff, he will find success as a producer, most notably with Taylor Swift. He will win Grammys thanks to Taylor Swift, and he himself will win Producer of the Year in 2022, 2023, and 2024. But as a whole, Fun is cursed, just not Jack Antonoff.
And the Grammy goes to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
This might get heavy, but Macklemore and Ryan Lewis won in 2014. Thrift Shop was one of the biggest songs in the world in 2013, and the Heist won Best Rap Album, somehow. They became the new face of pop rap. And finally, we got a strong class. We have James Blake, a UK singer who found success with his album Overgrown. Casey Musgraves dropped Same Trailer Different Part this year and was on her way to country superstardom. Ed Sheeran, Sure Plus or Audition dropped 2 years ago, but the song 18 crossed over in America, and him opening up for Taylor Swift will start his dominance. And there was one more name, Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, a good kid from a mad city, and that shifted hip hop. Wait a minute, you mean to tell me he didn't win? Kung Fu Kenny, K-Dot, the Certified Boogeyman, Duckworth, he didn't win? Like I said, this class was stacked, but K-Dot Kenny really lost. I've already explained this in my Grammy controversy video, so you already know how I feel about this. And it's a perfect segue to ask if they're cursed, because Macklemore did everything a Best New Artist shouldn't do. And I think I said something like this.
Flashback.
And this spewed the whole Macklemore won because he's white topic. But to be fair, Thrift Shop was one of the biggest songs of 2013. But things only got worse when Macklemore leaked a text message between him and Kendrick apologizing for winning the award, which Drake called out as whack. Drake defending Kendrick, what a time. And looking back at it, yeah, they're cursed, let's move on.
And the Grammy goes to Sam Smith.
2015, Sam Smith won Best New Artist, and with this, Sam became the first non-binary artist to win the award, even though Smith didn't identify at the time to my knowledge. Sam Smith wrote 2014 with the song Stay With Me and a Dark Child remix featuring Mary J. Blige. But Sam had other singles, I'm Not the Only One, Lay Down Beside were solid hits. This is another year where I don't have much to work with. Brandy Clark, a country singer who is more known for her songwriting than her actual music, but still an indie group with a lot of bad blood. Haim, a sister group with a lot of acclaim despite minimal mainstream success. And Iggy Azalea, an Australian rapper who became fancy with Charli XCX and had a problem with Ariana Grande. Like I said, this was a weak class. Sam Smith won by a country mile. This is a tough one. Sam Smith still had some hits, but they weren't the same. But Sam did win an Oscar, so you can't say success never fleeted Smith. But something happened. Sam never saw another nomination and win until Unholy, which I still stand by saying one of the worst songs to ever win a Grammy. I don't want to use the word blackballed, but Sam's performance on that show caused Smith's career to go down. Sure, Sam got a Grammy and a #1 hit in America, but what did it cost? And this is one where I could hear it from both sides, but I gotta say it, Sam Smith is cursed.
And the Grammy goes to Meghan Trainor.
You mean to tell me, despite being nominated for Record of the Year last year, Meghan Trainor was able to win Best New Artist for 2016. You would think she would be able to compete with Sam Smith the year prior, but Grammys, you let this get by? Just look at this picture. This is a face of a woman who stole a Grammy. But who did she steal from? And you know what? This class isn't even good either. We have Courtney Barrett, an indie artist from Australia. She won several area awards. James Bay, a UK singer who had the song Hold Back the River. Sam freaking Hunt, the pioneer of pop country and owning the second worst song of the 2010s. And Tori Kelly, an American Idol reject who was slowly building her career. A weak year. I actually kind of understand why Meghan Trainor won, because she was the biggest mainstream artist. But Tori Kelly might have been the best of the bunch. Major? No. But she's one of the most underrated vocalists of the 2010s. Everyone's patience has worn thin after this. Again, she still had charting singles after this, but after Me Too, she would go remote silent until having a mini revival with Made You Look. Everyone's tolerance of Meghan Trainor has worn thin quickly after the win. So yes, I'll say Meghan Trainor's cursed. You don't know how much I despise this class of Best New Artist.
Oh, and the Grammy goes to... It's my turn. Chance the Rapper.
In 2017, Chance the Rapper became the first solo male rapper to win Best New Artist. This was huge because he didn't have a major studio album at this point. Instead, he independently been dropping mixtapes, with Acid Rap and Coloring Book being some of his biggest. And you know what? We actually got a solid class of Best New Artists here. We have Kelsey Ballerini, a country artist, the Chainsmokers, and say whatever you want about them, Closer with Halsey was inescapable at the time. Maren Morris, who started off pop, then went country, then went back to pop due to Nashville politics, and Anderson .Paak, a future Grammy darling whose breakthrough album Malibu was a critical success. It was gutsy to say the least on giving Chance the Rapper a chance on winning the award. This class was promising, and this is a year where it could have gone in any direction. And because I'm okay with Chance's winning, I don't mind this. His audience turned on him quick when he dropped his debut album in 2019 and how poor it was received. Also, he hasn't been nominated since winning in 2017. And after how poorly The Big Day was received, his buzz died down fast. He still maintains relevance in other endeavors, so it wasn't like he disappeared, but he is still cursed, and to add on to the curse, he is the last male artist to win this award to this point as we enter the Me Too, pop girly, women rules, men drool era of music.
Alessia Cara.
2018, Alessia Cara won Best New Artist, even though I felt like her nomination was 1 year overdue. Her win was historic as she became the first Canadian to receive the honor. 2017 saw her song Scars to Your Beautiful become a pop staple, but she was more known for her collabs, most notably with Zedd and Logic. And this is the second class in a row where I could say is a decent class. We have Khalid, where his song Location was everywhere in 2017. Julia Michaels was known for the song Issues. Lil Uzi Vert, a rapper from Florida who was pushing the new wave of mumble rap, but XO Tour Life was a big single at the time. And one more, an R&B singer who was pushing a new wave and era for R&B. Her name, SZA. Her album Control was one of the year's best. And this brings me to this because Alessia was carried by her features. I would rather see this award given to Khalid or SZA. And yes, I am a fan of Alessia Cara. A lot of SZA fans did attack her on social media for something she had little control of. To be honest, I don't know what happened. She dropped a follow-up album, Growing Pains, and it was not as successful. Sure, SZA fans has turned on her, but she has little to no controversy to her name. My biggest guess? While TikTok was rising in the music industry, she chose not to compete with those trends. If that's what she wanted to do, cool enough. She still drops music, but no one's checking for it. and I'm hurt doing this, but Alessia Cara is cursed. But check out her album she released this year. It's a good piece of art.
And the Grammy goes to
Dua Lipa.
In 2019, Dua Lipa won Best New Artist, and this breakthrough was coming as she saw success thanks to her song New Rules and I Don't Give an F. This will be the first Best New Artist category where the nominees got expanded from 5 to 8, and because of this change, I'm not going to go through all the names from here on out, but in this situation, I am going to name them all since I do recognize both the nominees here. So with that in mind, we have Chloe and Halle, an R&B sister duo signed with Parkwood Entertainment, Luke Combs, a North Carolina-born country artist, Greta Van Vliet, a rock band from Michigan, Her, another R&B artist who entered a rebrand, and she had some ties to the Recording Academy, Margot Price, another country artist who's more known for her songwriting, BB Rexa, she broke out thanks to the song Meant to Be, and Georgia Smith, another R&B singer, this time from the UK. I remember watching this Grammy show, and I was honestly rooting for her to win, only because I didn't know who Dua Lipa was, but revisiting Dua's catalog and realizing what she became later on, I'm not going to complain that she won. And like I said, the best was yet to come. Her album Future Nostalgia is one of the best pop albums of the decade. 2021, she had the biggest hit on Billboard that year in Levitating, despite that song never reaching #1 on that chart. But she did have a setback during her Radical Optimism due to a management change when her father took over. But despite that, I could say, after dealing with 6 cursed artists in a row, Dua Lipa is not cursed. Just hope Radical Optimism was just a roadblock and she could go back to doing what she does best.
And the Grammy goes to Billie Eilish!
2020 saw Billie Eilish win Best New Artist, and as we all know, she will have one of the best nights in Grammy history by sweeping the general categories. Her win was stoked by her breakout Sleeping album and her #1 hit Bad Guy. And this would have been a case where I was better off naming 5 names, and that would have been considered a stacked lineup. So let's talk about those names that I recognized. Starting off with Black Pumas, a soul band. They'll have some Grammy success. Lil Nas X, an Old Town Road was a record breaker, and Nas X proved that he isn't a one-hit wonder. Lizzo, she's been an artist since 2016, but she started to become viral in 2019 thanks to True Hurts and Good as Hell. Maggie Rogers, she had an album, Heard It in My Past Life, and that album went to #2 on the Billboard 200. And Rosalía, a Latin artist from Spain. Lizzo was probably Billie's biggest competition, but given the year Billie had, it was hard to go against that. She literally won Record of the Year the next year, and while her next 2 studio albums resulted in 0 wins likely due to Grammy fatigue, she still won for What Was I Made For in betwixt those albums. She's still one of the main pop girlies of 2020s. Not only that, she's a 2-time Oscar Award winner, easily not cursed, but I do think her next album has to get a Grammy.
Thank you.
And the Grammy goes to, well, I'm nervous, y'all. It's time, baby, Megan Thee Stallion!
2021, during the COVID ceremony, Megan Thee Stallion surprisingly won Best New Artist, a rapper from Houston whose brand of rap was raunchy and was starting to rise in 2019. But in 2020, she became a superstar thanks to the song Savage, later remixed by Beyonce, and Megan will release her debut album by year's end. Fine, I'll talk about them all. First we have Ingrid Andress, a pop country singer, Phoebe Bridgers, an indie artist more known for her collabs, Chica, a female lyricist whose brand of rap wasn't fitting for the mainstream, Noah Cyrus, pop singer who is the younger sister of Miley, D-Smoke, Black Habits was a critical success, Doja Cat, a pop rapper broke out thanks to Say So, and Kaytranada, producer and rapper. So yeah, this year was very rap heavy. While Meghan is a good lyricist, Doja Cat would have been my choice as I feared Meghan's brand of rap wasn't going to be suitable for voters, while Doja had many pop-friendly tunes, most notably Say So. This is a tricky one and probably one of my more controversial takes of this whole series, because Meghan's history with the Grammys has been spotty to say the least. She hasn't been nominated since 2022, and Meghan's career has also been inconsistent to say the least. She left her label to go independent, which makes life harder for her to get nominated, and while the bangers are still there and she's still part of the culture, it's a far cry of what 2020 brought. So, yeah, I hate to do this, but I think Meghan's cursed. But this is one I could hear from both sides.
And the Grammy goes to... Olivia Rodrigo!
2022 was the year spent in recovering from the pandemic, and this winner was easily Olivia Rodrigo. She was a Disney star most known for appearing on the Disney Plus show High School Musical: The Series. 2021, she had her breakthrough out of nowhere with the song Driver's License going #1 in the beginning of the year. She also followed up with Deja Vu, Good For You, which also went to #1, and Traitor, which went to the top 10. She released her album Sour in May in 2021, going multi-platinum. This year saw an expansion of 10 nominees, and it makes no sense for me to name them all, so I'm just going to go through the names that I recognize. We have Jimmy Allen, a black country artist, Baby Keem, a rapper with family ties to Kendrick, Phineas, a producer who won previous Grammys but started to put out his own works, Glass Animals, an alternative group best known for the song Heat Waves, and Sweetie, a female rapper who had a huge duet with Doja Cat in Best Friends, despite releasing My Type and Tap In 2019 and 2020 respectively. Let's see, #1 hit, one of the highest selling albums of 2021. Olivia Rodrigo was the easy choice for this. Sure, Olivia hasn't won a Grammy since 2022, but she did have a respectable sophomore album in Guts, which saw quite a bit of nominations that year. It goes to show that Olivia still got it. I know it's early, but her path to stardom is still there. She is not cursed, and I hope her third album performs well.
And the Grammy goes to Samara Joy.
2023, the Grammy threw a curveball and gave the win to Samara Joy. Samara Joy is a Gen Z jazz artist who I don't have much to go off by. We have Anitta, a Brazilian funk artist who had a big fan base, and she broke out thanks to her song Envolver. Omar Apollo, a singer and member of the LGBTQ community. Lotto, a female rapper from Atlanta who broke out thanks to Big Energy. Måneskin, they broke out the year prior thanks to their cover of Beggin', but they started to release their own work. And Money Long, real name Priscilla Renee, she rebranded into an R&B artist and broke out with the song Hours and Hours. Samara Joy is talented, but not quite mainstream enough to win this award for me. I thought the Grammys were going to go with the safe R&B pick, and that safe R&B pick was Money Long. She's not a mainstream darling like everyone else, but she is still successful in her lane, and is still undefeated with the Grammys, and 2026 is shaping up to be another good season for her. So Samara Joy is not cursed.
And the Grammy goes to
Victoria Monet!
2024 winner was Victoria Monet, a vet in the game. She's been releasing music for over a decade, but her album Jaguar 2 received long overdue praise, and you could thank the song On My Mama for that. This class was kind of all over the place, but at least they cut it back down to 8. You have Gracie Abrams, daughter of J.J. Abrams. She released her breakthrough album Secrets of Us and got a Swiftie cosign. Fred again, he was a UK dance producer. Ice Spice, a rapper from New York who broke out due to her collabs and affiliations and a Swiftie cosign. Jelly Roll, a former rapper turned country singer who needed a favor. Coco Jones, an R&B vet who broke through thanks to the song ICU. Noah Khan, the album Stick Season was his breakthrough. And the Warren Treaty, an African-American couple who sing country music. Ice Spice was not getting this win, y'all all know this, but thanks to Jaguar 2, Victoria Monet was the best option for this award. This is too early to tell as her Best New Artist win is still fresh. Let's hope she's able to follow up with Jaguar 2.
The Grammy Award for Best New Artist goes to
Chappell Roan!
And this leads us to Chappell Roan, the most recent Best New Artist winner. She's been in the music scene since 2017, but has been struggling dealing with the politics of the industry. She tried again in 2023 with The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. That album was a slow grower, but then something clicked. The song Good Luck Babe, which is not on that album, started to take off, and that led to songs from the Midwest album to also take off. This was a stacked class this year. We have Benson Boone, he broke out thanks to Beautiful Things. Sabrina Carpenter, despite being a vet in music for a decade, her album Short and Sweet blew up thanks to the song Espresso. Doechii dropped the mixtape Alligator Bites Never Heal, felt like her nomination was 1 year overdue. Crewing Band, a psychedelic band who's probably the least known name here. Ray, a singer from the UK whose nomination was also 1 year overdue. Shaboozey, a Bar Tipsy song, Need I Say More. And Teddy Swims, Lose Control, Need I Say More. Let's be real, it was a two-way race between her and Sabrina Carpenter, but I think the Sabrina Carpenter fans wouldn't have a problem if Chappell won, given that Sabrina is a vet. This is another too early to tell as her Best New Artist win is still fresh, but I will say she's displayed curse-like behavior when The Giver debuted high but flopped, then The Subway doing the same, and both are great songs, and saying her next album might not come until 5 years from now. But again, it's still too early. Come back years later and I'll give you a proper answer. Alrighty, that concludes the Best New Artist curse. All 36 Best New Artist winners since 1990. So tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Do you agree with some of my rankings? Was I right? Was I wrong? Please like, hype, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.